name is Jenna and today I'm here doing my movie and television show wrap up for July 2020. In July I watched, I don't actually know because I didn't prepare, I watched, wow, a grand total of 3 movies and 6 TV shows. So, I don't know what I did this month. I barely read anything. I swear I barely watched anything. I didn't really play video games. What did I do this month? That's a really good question. Either way, I had a fairly chill month watching wise. There was nothing that well, it was one thing that I really wasn't a fan of, but everything else was like, it was good, it was fun. So, let's just jump right in. As always, I'm going to start with the TV shows that I watched this month, and the first TV show I watched was The Babysitter's Club. The first season, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. This was everything. It was nostalgic as hell. I loved and adored it. I'm not going to talk about it too much here as I did do a total reading and watching vlog for The Babysitter's Club, which I will leave linked in the description box below, so definitely go and check that one out if you are interested in all of the nostalgia that is The Babysitter's Club. It was such a fun show, and while I don't think they're going to get a second season, I just have this feeling I would really like it if they did. Second TV show that I watched this month was Doctor Who. So I was catching up on my rewatch, so I rewatched season 9, which I gave a 3 out of 5 stars. I love Capaldi. I think he is a fantastic doctor. I just don't think that season 9 worked particularly well, because while I loved Clara in seasons 7 and 8, I thought she was a fantastic companion. I sort of thought she overstayed her welcome a little bit in season 9 because she became too much like the Doctor, and so it just sort of shifted the dynamic a little bit, and I didn't love it. I enjoyed this one a lot more the second time around. I don't think I've ever really rewatched season 9 before, but I still didn't love it. In saying that though, episode 11 of season 9 in the, I think it's called Heaven Sent, it's the episode where it's just the Doctor for the majority of the episode. He's basically trapped inside this castle. Side note, I've been to that castle. That's Cardiff Castle, and it's always fun to see whenever I watch that. I'm like, oh, I've been there. But it's basically just him talking to himself for 50 minutes, and it's fan-freaking-tastic. One of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever. Then I rewatched season 10, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I think this might be one of my favorite Capaldi seasons. Definitely my favorite Capaldi season is season 8. The first season he's in is just fantastic, and then season 10 is right underneath that one. This season definitely gave him a bit of a chance to shine. I love Bill. I really like the companion that we had in season 10, and I'm really upset that we only got 1 season with her because Bill was fantastic. I also loved Nardole. He was a fantastic and hilarious addition to just kind of be there at times, and I just absolutely loved him. The stories are really great, and the final episode, so the final episode of season 10 and the Christmas special where Capaldi leaves, both had me sobbing. Again, I've watched them before, but like just watching him in his final episode and watching him like leave was horrific. It's so hard to watch, but the only good thing about his regeneration, because there's nothing good about his regeneration at all, I really miss him as the Doctor. The only good thing about it was when he did regenerate, the TARDIS then immediately threw the Doctor out of the TARDIS because it just went, ew, no. And I liked that part. Then I watched season 11 of Doctor Who, and I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars. So I had watched the first 2 episodes of season 11 back when they aired in 2018, and I didn't really like them. I didn't think it felt like Doctor Who. I wasn't a big fan of the new Doctor. I really didn't like any of the new companions, and so I just never continued with it. But I sort of got to a point where I was like, no. If you're a Doctor Who fan, you have to give it a season. You have to give Jodie a full season to either win you over or not. And she did not. She did not win me over. The show does not feel like Doctor Who anymore. It feels like something completely different. It feels like Doctor Who-esque, I guess. It's like adjacent to Doctor Who. I have no connection to any of the companions whatsoever because they're all just kind of there. Like none of them really have a backstory. They don't have a story at all. They've got no arcs. They're just kind of there, and they're mostly annoying, and there's so many of them. Why do we need 3 3 companions? Do they think that Jodie was not able to carry the show on her own? Because they're right, but having all those companions as well just made it so irritating to watch. There basically was no cohesive storyline for this season either. It wasn't until the very last episode that they sort of went, oh yeah, right, season-long arcs are a thing that Doctor Who's been doing for goodness knows how long. We should do that too. So they just randomly bring back the villain from the very first episode that made not a lot of sense and just kind of went with that. And I spent the whole time going, why though? Like, what was the point of this? I cannot stress enough how much I hated the witch hunt episode. I hated that with every fiber of my being because of how much it was like, the Doctor's a woman now and we want to shove that agenda in your face. Like, no, I don't need that if I'm going to be watching a fun sci-fi show. Yes, you can show me inclusivity and yes, you can show me those themes, but you don't need to shove them down my throat with an episode like the witch hunt episode. I hated every second of that. So Doctor Who no longer feels like Doctor Who for me. It feels like someone is running around in a blue box pretending to be the Doctor. So I will watch season 12 at some point because I want season 12? Yes. No. Yes. I will watch season 12 at some point because I didn't like season 11, but not enough for me to not watch season 12 because eventually she will regenerate and hopefully she'll regenerate into someone. Hopefully she'll regenerate back into a man and it'll just be great. And I don't care what people say, that is how I feel about Doctor Who at this point. Also, why did they have to dress her like a toddler? Like, seriously, everyone else, I mean, Eccleston had his really iconic leather jacket and then Tennant had his suits that he would wear and his, you know, long brown coat. Matt had the tweed jacket and the suspenders and then later on he had that really nice jacket. Capaldi, except for season 9 where he kind of dressed like someone's grandpa, like Capaldi had a really nice suit on with a really nice velvet jacket and then they throw this new Doctor in the most disgusting, colourful, toddler-esque outfit and I'm like, what are you doing? Do you want people to hate her? Because that's what you're doing. Anyway, I'm gonna stop ranting about Doctor Who now because, yes, I was not a fan of that season. Next up, I rewatched Class, the first season of that. I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. I had forgotten how much I loved Class and I'm still so mad that we never got a second season, especially how it ends. It ends on the biggest cliffhanger ever and I'm just like, what? Charlie and Mateus have all of my heart. I love them to pieces. I loved the characters. The stories were really good and it just was a great show and I'm really disappointed that it never got a second season. Fourth TV show that I watched was season 2 of The Sweet Life on Deck. This was a rewatch. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this show. It's really funny. It's got some great moments and it's just something really fun to watch. I've actually been watching it on my lunch breaks at work, so I have a half-hour lunch break, so it's sort of the perfect length to watch and it's just always so much fun and I really enjoy that one. I'm also kind of sad that apparently the Sprouse Boys, they actually approached Disney and were like, hey, do you want to do a third show about us in college? And Disney went, no. And I'm a little disappointed by that. I think that would have been a lot of fun. I think the issue with that though would have been they would have wanted to explore some more adult themes and Disney probably wasn't ready for that. Fifth TV show that I watched was season 1 of Night on Earth. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. This was just a fascinating documentary series that I found on Netflix. It was using new technology to show things happening at night and a lot of it was stuff that scientists had sort of never seen before and researchers, so they were excited, which got me excited. But my favorite part of the entire show was actually the behind the scenes special that they released alongside it, so I got to not only see the footage but also see how they filmed it and it was just fascinating to watch. And I don't know when I became that person who watches nature documentaries for fun, but apparently I'm now that person. And then the sixth TV show that I watched was another rewatch and that was season 1 of Glee, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I have been having like the urge to rewatch Glee for the past couple of months and then my sister started rewatching it and I went, oh screw it, I'm just gonna rewatch it too. And wow, Glee is a problematic, really weird show, but we all just kind of accepted it back then. We all just kind of went, yeah, no worries, this is a thing. It's not a thing, it's very disturbing and there are some real issues going on there, but it's still fun to rewatch and, you know, relive those early high school life. It's definitely one that I have been enjoying watching and going through and the songs are great. I don't love the second half of season 1. I think it's actually one of the weakest. So the first half of season 1 is great, but then the second half of season 1, in my opinion, is one of the weaker moments of like the first 3 seasons. It's just weak and not great, but I got through it, and now I can continue my rewatch by rewatching season 2, which will be a fun time. Season 2 I think was my favorite season. There we go, that is all of the TV shows that I watched. Now we will move straight onto the movies, the 3 movies that I watched, and funnily enough, all 3 of these movies are rewatches because the cinemas are open again. They've been open since the beginning of July, but you know, there are no new movies to go and watch, so I'm hating life a little bit right now. The first movie that I watched this month was a rewatch, and that was Ice Age: Dawn of the Dinosaurs, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Dawn of the Dinosaurs is my favorite of all 5 of the Ice Age movies. It is fantastic. I love the addition of Buck. Buck is a fantastic character. He's so funny. He fits in really, really well though with the rest of the cast, and it's just brilliant. This one for me has the most tension because of that final scene, you know, where you've got Buck and Crash and Eddie. They're trying to get to Sid, who is obviously about to die, at the same time as Ellie is trapped on top of this rock thing where she's giving birth to Peaches, and Diego is up there helping her, and Manny is desperately trying to get to her as well, while also defending them from these dinosaurs, which I think are meant to be velociraptors, but I'm not entirely sure. And all of it just has so much tension, but it also is one of the funniest of the films, and it just, I adore watching this one. I adore watching them be a little family, and it is without a doubt the best of the Ice Age movies. The second movie that I rewatched this month was Ice Age: Continental Drift, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. This is the 4th film in the franchise, and I enjoy this one. I love the introduction of Granny. Granny is one of my favorite characters. I think she's so funny. I find this one a lot of fun to rewatch, but I also find this one has just really random moments, like all the musical moments when like Captain something, when he's singing, I'm just like, why is this a thing? Like, why is he singing? Why do we care? But I do really love the end credits song, We Are Family. It's just so good, and I do still find it really funny that the Ice Age films sort of go backwards. So, you know, we start the first film with humans, and then the second film is global warming, and then the third film is dinosaurs. The 4th film is when the continents shift apart, which obviously is something that happened. I don't think it happened first. I think the dinosaurs technically happened first, but then the 5th one is like the asteroids where the dinosaurs die. So I don't know, it's a weird, all I know is the first Ice Age and the second Ice Age should be after the others, because this first one definitely should be the last one because humans. But anyway. And then the last movie that I rewatched this month was National Treasure, which I give 4 out of 5 stars. I've been having a real like need to rewatch the second National Treasure film, so in my infinite wisdom I decided to watch the first one instead because that makes sense. It's a great film. It's really fun. I will admit to learning a lot of my American history from this movie and then having to go and just, you know, look it up to make sure that it was accurate, and some of it is accurate, some of it is not accurate at all, but mostly it's pretty much there. It's a great film. It's just a really fun early 2000s kiddie adventure film that is just enjoyable to watch. Sean Bean's in it, which is always a good time, and I really do enjoy this one. Yeah, and I should probably go watch the second one considering that's what I wanted to watch in the first place. And so there you go. Those are the 3 movies and the 6 TV shows that I watched in the month of July. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what you watched this month because I would absolutely love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.